They sing about loyalty, heartbreak, and forever love. But behind those perfect smiles and #1 hits, some of country music's biggest names were living stories they'd never dare to write into a song. Because in Nashville, love isn't always as pure as it sounds. And sometimes, people writing about heartbreak are the ones causing it. These weren't simple flings or innocent mistakes. They were full-blown scandals, secret affairs, broken vows, and betrayals that tore through careers like wildfire. Marriages collapsed. Friendships ended overnight. Fans turned on their idols. And the most shocking part? Some of these betrayals happened right under the spotlight. Everyone saw it coming, except the ones who got hurt. Rumors started spreading. Whispers filled recording studios. And soon, what was supposed to stay private became front-page drama. These weren't just tabloid stories. They were real heartbreaks that changed the course of country music. Some artists rebuilt their lives from the ashes. Others never recovered. And when you hear how deep some of these lies went, you'll never look at their songs the same way again. Because behind every chart-topping love song, there's a secret someone hoped would never be found out. But that's the thing about Nashville. Secrets don't stay hidden forever. So today, we're pulling back the curtain on the stories country music tried to bury. The shocking affairs, the betrayals, and the moments that changed everything. And we start with a heartbreak so personal, it felt like the cruelest twist imaginable.
Shania Twain, betrayed by her best friend.
The story begins with one of the country's brightest stars, Shania Twain. By the late 1990s, she wasn't just famous, she was unstoppable. Man, I feel like a woman. You're still the one. That don't impress me much. Her songs dominated every radio in America. Fans adored her marriage to producer Mutt Lange. Together, they looked like the perfect duo. She wrote the words, he built the sound. And the two became Nashville's golden couple. But behind the success, something dark was brewing. While Shania toured the world, rumors began circling that Mutt was getting too close to someone in their inner circle, someone Shania trusted completely. Her best friend, Marie-Anne Thibault. At first, Shania brushed it off. After all, Marie-Anne wasn't just a friend. She was part of the family, often helping manage Shania's home life while she was on tour. But as whispers grew louder, the puzzle pieces started falling into place. Odd phone calls, strange trips, an uneasy feeling Shania couldn't shake. For a while, Shania disappeared. She stopped recording, stopped performing, and focused on survival. In interviews later, she admitted the pain nearly silenced her forever. But what happened next was something nobody expected. In a strange twist of fate, the man who comforted her through it all was Frederick Thibault, Marie-Anne's ex-husband, who had also been betrayed. Two broken hearts found each other, and against all odds, Shania and Frederick built something new from the ashes. It's almost poetic. The woman whose heart was shattered by the people closest to her turned that pain into strength. Her comeback album, Now, wasn't just music. It was a declaration that she had survived. And while Shania's story ended in resilience, Nashville had no time to heal. Because another scandal was already unfolding, one that would spark one of the most infamous love triangles in modern country music.
LeAnn Rimes and Eddie Cibrian, the affair that shook Hollywood and Nashville.
When Shania Twain stepped out of the spotlight, LeAnn Rimes was already in it. She had become a sensation as a teenager, the youngest Grammy winner in history. But as the years went on, her innocent image started to fade. In 2009, while filming the Lifetime movie Northern Lights, LeAnn met actor Eddie Cibrian. Both were married, LeAnn to Dean Sharramet, and Eddie to Brandi Glanville. On-screen chemistry quickly spilled into real life, and soon tabloids caught what no one was supposed to see. Photos surfaced of secret dinners, hidden getaways, and undeniable chemistry. At first, both denied everything, calling it just friendship. But the truth came out fast. The affair was exposed, and all four lives changed overnight. Fans felt betrayed. Country radio turned cold. LeAnn's career, once spotless, became a symbol of scandal. Brandi Glanville spoke out publicly, and what followed was a media storm that blurred the line between celebrity gossip and public meltdown. But beneath all the chaos, something deeper was happening. Leanne admitted she'd felt trapped in an image that never fit her. The perfect country girl. And in that turmoil, she made decisions that reshaped her life completely. Eventually, Leanne and Eddie divorced their partners and married each other in 2011. Yet the controversy never fully disappeared. Every new song, every public appearance came with whispers. Was it worth it? Still, Leanne owned her choices. She told interviewers, "I made mistakes, but I'm human." And slowly, she began rebuilding her voice. Not the teenage prodigy's voice the world remembered, but the grown woman's voice forged through fire. As her story faded from headlines, another one began rising. A love story that seemed wholesome on stage, but was hiding something much more complicated behind closed doors.
Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. Love born in the shadows.
By the late 90s, Garth Brooks had already become the biggest name in country music history. Stadiums sold out in minutes, fans idolized his family man persona, and his marriage to Sandy Moll seemed unshakable. At the same time, singer Trisha Yearwood was climbing the charts, often performing alongside Garth. Their harmonies felt effortless, maybe too effortless. People began noticing a certain energy between them on stage. A look here, a smile there. Nothing explicit, but enough to make fans wonder. For years, both insisted they were just close friends. Garth even said Trisha was like a sister. But behind the scenes, things were different. The emotional bond they shared grew deeper, even while Garth remained married. He later confessed that when he first met Trisha, he felt like he'd met his wife, though he was already someone else's husband. Eventually, Garth's marriage ended, and for a time, he stepped away from fame completely to focus on family. Years later, when he returned to music, he and Trisha finally made their relationship public and married in 2005. Some fans saw it as romantic destiny. Others whispered that it had started long before anyone admitted. But regardless of the timeline, one thing was clear. The chemistry that began in duets turned into a lifelong partnership. Unlike many scandals that ended in heartbreak, theirs became a rare example of love surviving the storm. They built a life together, not just as performers, but as best friends who had weathered years of scrutiny. And while Garth and Trisha found peace in the end, the same couldn't be said for others in Nashville, where temptation was still tearing apart lives, one secret at a time.
Billy Ray Cyrus. The fallout no one saw coming.
Garth and Trisha managed to find love through the chaos, but not everyone in Nashville was that lucky. While they were building a new life together, another country legend was watching his own world quietly unravel. Billy Ray Cyrus. For years, he'd been known as the man behind Achy Breaky Heart and the proud father of a rising pop star, Miley Cyrus. On the outside, he had it all. Fame, a family, and the image of a Southern gentleman who'd survived the industry's ups and downs. But as Miley's fame exploded, rumors about Billy Ray's personal life began surfacing. It started small. Whispers that fame had pulled him away from his wife, Tish. Then came talk of emotional distance, long separations, and unspoken tension. By the late 2010, it wasn't just gossip anymore. The couple had filed for divorce multiple times, only to reconcile, until finally, the cracks became too wide to hide. In 2022, it was official. Billy Ray and Tish split for good. And just when fans thought things couldn't get messier, another surprise dropped. Billy Ray announced his engagement to a woman named Fire Rose, an Australian singer decades younger than him, who had once collaborated with him musically. Reports claim they'd met years earlier on the set of Hannah Montana, back when Billy Ray was still very much married. Fans were divided. Some called it true love. Others saw it as the final chapter in a long story of heartbreak and midlife reinvention. But regardless of opinion, one truth stood out. Billy Ray's personal life had taken the same path as many before him, from small-town roots to worldwide fame, and eventually to a very public kind of loneliness. Even more striking was the timing. Not long after Billy Ray's engagement, Tish remarried to actor Dominic Purcell. The entire saga played out online, through posts, rumors, and speculation that the two families were no longer on speaking terms. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a generational shift that split even their children's loyalties. And in the world of country music, where family and tradition are sacred, that kind of division leaves scars that don't heal easily. Billy Ray may have found love again, but the question remains, at what cost? Because just as one marriage fell apart under the spotlight, another country legend's story was about to take a turn so wild, even Nashville didn't know what to believe.
Jason Aldean, the scandal that nearly ended everything.
When it comes to modern country stars, few have seen a rise and fall quite like Jason Aldean. By the early 2010s, Aldean was the face of modern country rock. Arena tours, hit singles, and a loyal fan base that saw him as the next Garth Brooks. But in 2012, one night in Los Angeles changed everything. During a music festival, cameras caught Aldean in a bar, getting a little too close to another woman, former American Idol contestant Brittany Kerr. The photos spread like wildfire, and within hours, his reputation as a devoted husband and family man was in question. Aldean was married at the time to Jessica Ussery, his high school sweetheart and the mother of his children. The public backlash was immediate. Fans called him out. Radio stations debated pulling his music. Jason responded quickly, admitting he'd acted inappropriately, but calling it a mistake fueled by alcohol. Still, the damage was done. Trust was gone, and not long after, his marriage ended. For a while, it seemed like Aldean's career might not recover. Country music fans have long memories, and infidelity doesn't fit the cowboy image Nashville sells so well. But then something unexpected happened. Aldean and Brittany didn't go their separate ways. They stayed together. And over time, the two got married and built a new family, standing firm against criticism. It didn't erase the scandal, but it changed the narrative. What began as a public embarrassment slowly turned into a redemption arc. In interviews, Jason spoke openly about regret, about owning his choices, and about how the experience taught him who his real supporters were. Still, it's impossible to ignore how close it all came to collapsing. One night, one decision, one photo, and everything he'd built could have vanished. That's the thing about Nashville's affairs. They're not just whispers in dark bars or hotel rooms. They're moments caught forever in the bright light of fame. And while Jason survived his, not everyone did. Because the next story isn't just about love or betrayal. It's about obsession, downfall, and a scandal so deep that it blurred the line between loyalty and destruction.
Morgan Wallen, the temptation of fame.
Jason Aldean's scandal had shown how quickly one night could undo years of success. But Morgan Wallen's story proved how temptation, attention, and fame could drag a new generation of artists into an even harsher spotlight. By his mid-20s, Wallen was the new face of modern country. His raspy vocals, outlaw image, and genre-bending songs turned him into a superstar almost overnight. But with that fame came a lifestyle that moved faster than he could handle. Late nights, endless parties, and the constant buzz of cameras waiting to catch him slip. It wasn't long before the headlines began to change. First came rumors of wild behavior, then whispers of relationship drama. Behind the scenes, his love life became a carousel of breakups, reconciliations, and emotional fallout. Fans romanticized it all, until the truth started leaking out online. Screenshots, messages, speculation. Each new rumor painted a different version of Morgan Wallen, the rising star caught between his own heart and the world watching him. He'd later admit that fame had made him reckless, that the attention, the travel, and the pressure blurred the line between confidence and chaos. And in Nashville, that's all it takes for a story to spin out of control. But what made Wallen's situation different was how he responded. Instead of vanishing like so many before him, he owned up to the mistakes, stepped away for a moment, and returned with music that felt raw and brutally honest. Songs like Sand in My Boots and Thought You Should Know weren't just hits. They were confessions. They hinted at a man who'd seen how easily love could be lost when the world was always watching. Fans forgave him. Some even saw him as the symbol of resilience, a reminder that fame doesn't erase your flaws. It just makes them louder. And that's the thing about modern country scandals. They're not just about cheating hearts anymore. They're about identity, temptation, and survival in a culture where everyone has a camera and no one forgets. Wallen's story proved that the stage lights that lift you up can just as easily expose you. But as the dust settled, another truth lingered. These stories aren't really about fame at all. They're about people, flawed, passionate, human, trying to live through emotions they've built their entire careers singing about. And that realization leads us straight into the heart of the final chapter, the one that shows why Nashville's scandals never really die. Every scandal fades eventually. The cameras move on, the fans forgive, and the songs start to sound innocent again. But in Nashville, the ghosts never leave. The same city that writes about heartbreak also feeds off it. For every star who falls, another one rises, singing the same promises of forever love, while the cycle quietly begins again. Think about it. Shania Twain turned her heartbreak into empowerment. LeAnn Rimes turned scandal into survival. Garth and Trisha found a love that defied the rumors. Billy Ray Cyrus watched his family split in real time. Jason Aldean rebuilt from ruin. Morgan Wallen turned his chaos into confession. Different decades, different faces, same story. Love, fame, betrayal, repeated like verses in the longest country song ever written. But why does it keep happening? Because Nashville isn't just a city. It's an echo chamber built on emotion. Artists don't just write songs, they live them. And when the line between stage and real life blurs, hearts get caught in the crossfire. For some, scandal becomes a curse. For others, it's a rebirth. Fans might judge, but they also relate. Because every betrayal, every broken promise, mirrors something human, something real. That's why country music survives every controversy. It doesn't hide from pain. It transforms it. Every secret, every affair, every fall from grace becomes a melody that someone, somewhere, feels in their own story. So, maybe the truth is this. Nashville doesn't bury its scandals. It records them, turns them into art, sells them back to us, wrapped in harmonies and heartbreak. And years later, when we hum along to those familiar lyrics, we forget the chaos behind them. But the artists never do. Because for them, those songs aren't just hits. They're confessions set to a beat. So the next time you hear a love song from your favorite country star, listen a little closer. Behind the sweet words and gentle chords might be a story of betrayal, revenge, or heartbreak the world has already forgotten. Because in Nashville, every hit hides a secret. And no matter how much time passes, one thing always remains true. The biggest country songs are born from the deepest scars.